When I met Louis, I had been an actress for 10 years. I'm born from the theater, and one evening I was told that two young men wanted to visit me and come backstage. And I asked the names, and one was a prince. I said, a prince? Yes. They're coming, they have a project for films, and they want to see you. So I asked the name of that prince. It was the descendant of the Emperor Napoleon. His name was Prince Napoleon Murat. And the other one was very well known to me, was a very brilliant young writer called Roger Limier. They didn't want to stay in my dressing room, and they took me into a place very famous in Paris where Hemingway used to go, the Harris Bar. So we went there, we had drinks, and they started to speak to me about a project, a love story where the lovers never met. And I said, but who's the director? So they said, well, he's just a beginner. He's very young. He's 24 years old, and he made one film. I said, yes, but what sort of film? Well, he made a film with Cousteau, and he was filming. He was a diver, and he had to give up because he had slight heart problems. So I said, why didn't he come? Well, he just wanted to know if you were interested. So a meeting was organized. I saw this young man, and he told me about what he wanted to do. Nobody spoke about the new wave at that time. I knew about Cahiers du Cinéma. I knew about a new generation of film directors, but they had only made short films, not long feature films. And the producer was there, and the prince told me that very low budget, very small crew, and hierarchy was very important before that. I mean, when you were a star, you had to have your driver, your dresser, your stand-in, your makeup, your hairdresser. They said, listen, no driver, maybe somebody to help you to get dressed, no makeup, no. I said, well, thank you. Because it was so heavy, the makeup they used to put on my face was terrible, because I didn't have the face and the usual looks of the women who were stars at that time. My eyes, my mouth, everything was wrong. So I had makeup thick like that, and then suddenly I was so relieved at the idea that I could do it myself.
Julien, je t'aurais cherché partout.
I saw the film yesterday. I hadn't seen it for years, I think. And I felt again the same feeling I had while I was filming, meaning that we were doing something absolutely abnormal for the time.
Tiens, Monsieur Tavernier. Il range toujours sa voiture sur les clous. Lui, les contraventions, les flics, il s'en fout totalement. Bonjour, Monsieur Tavernier.
The way of telling the story, the editing, and begins what will be the obsession of Louis Malle that you will find all through his films. The idea of bourgeoisie, you know, a woman who's married to a very powerful man, adultery, and a very violent passion that is emotional and strongly physical, though no words are said about the physical attraction, but you feel it. And it's very strange in that film because they're never together. The only way they communicate is with the telephone, and from her point of view, with the inner voice, that at sometimes is so powerful what goes through her mind and her heart, that while she walks in the streets, she looks like a mad woman, even speaking to herself, you know? And at the end, I was struck by how harsh is the judgment of the inspector, the police inspector, saying, okay, he's the murderer, he may get 10 years, but you are terrible, you are worst. And you'll get more, much more. She accepts it at the same time.
20 ans, plus d'âge, plus de jours. Je vais dormir.
This film, there is a love story, a murder, but you discover and you know exactly at what time this story happens. In the background is Algeria.
Vous savez, dans ma génération, on pense à autre chose qu'aux bouchons de champagne. 4 ans d'occupation, l'Indochine, l'Algérie.
Ah, bravo, bravo. À l'Europe.
À l'Europe.
There is a lot of money made because of war, and she's the wife of a man who sells arms. No sense of moral, you know. And the young couple, the big car, let's drive, and you kill, oh my God, what have I done? If we had money, we would go to South America. No sense of guilt, no price given to a man's life. Already that we feel nowadays in the 21st century. So I think it's a very revolutionary film. And then, what is exceptional, it's the use of the music. The recording of the music, it was by night. That I remember very well. And mine started joking with me, making jokes about the way I walked all around. We asked him if he wanted reels after reels. He said yes. Where did he want to start? So he said, well, I start from the beginning. No rehearsals, it just mine spoke, made jokes with the musicians, and they started. It was just made like that. It was incredible. Incredible. It was a general feeling. It was a flow. It was a flow. It was some of these artistic creation, you know, and they happen naturally. It works. It's the right timing. It's the right time, the right day, the right mixture of people. And I was very happy. I had the impression that I was really starting to make films. And of course, it was the first time, it had never been done before, that a lighting cameraman would carry the camera and go around without people turning around. And even if they turned around to watch this woman, it didn't matter. I mean, she looked so crazy. There was just a little light on, not even. No, not even. It was the real light. Yes, it was with a special film that he bought in the States, well, with black and white. So when there was a break, we used to go inside, discuss, decide what we would do, and go to another place. So we were all together. We were, I don't know, 10 people, 12 people. I thought it was so boring to be told, okay, now you've finished your sequence. Let's see, maybe we need you in about 2 hours. Go and rest. I didn't come here to rest, come on. So there was no cellular phone, and even now there is one. I'd never go in my dressing room or my caravan or whatever to give calls. I don't feel like it. I like to see what's going on. I like it. I like to be part of the creation. And I've always been like that. With Louis, I never thought he had never directed an actress or an actor. It was just his relationship with the whole, with the lights, with the weather, with the cold, and the shadows, and the sunshine, whatever. And there was such intensity that the only time maybe he spoke to me on the set about the film was he is in the film at one time. We crossed our path as though he's a young man who thinks I'm a prostitute, and we whispered things, and that's all. So it's true that he helped me and I helped him. We were just like that. I never have any ideas when I arrive on the set. I think that is forbidden to me. And I don't feel like having any ideas. I'm empty, like an empty box waiting to be filled up. So I'm very, very obedient because I respect too much a human being, man or woman, director. And each time I'm expecting something new. It's an adventure. And the more time passes by, if you look forward with curiosity, it's a real trip. I mean, you don't need to take anything to help things. And if you have the guts, then your curiosity grows with time. You think you know a lot, and you don't. You know? Orson spoke to me about the idea of a suitcase. He said, you know, when we start a film, we're on the train and it's non-stop from A to Z. You take everything with you. The suitcase gets more heavy and heavy, so you have to have several suitcases. You don't carry the same all the time. And that's what Orson Welles said to me. That was a great idea. So to come back to Louis, while we were filming Elevator, we came personally involved. And one would say, well, you got involved emotionally because, well, it's natural when you work on a film. Well, no, it's not always natural. Because I made several films and all the directors with whom I worked didn't become my lover. There was something very exceptional. And when I say there was, I go further. I say there is still something. Whatever happens, even if Louis is not there anymore, he's still alive. Because he opened doors for me, as though I came out of a jail. Through him, I discovered the freedom of cinema and exactly what cinema could mean. A modern way of communicating with the world. I had the luck to be who I was at that time And though I didn't ask for it, my needs were such that they coincided with the needs of film directors and the preoccupation at that time, who is a woman? Who is she? When you think of the title of the film of Jean Eustache, La Maman et la Putain, the mother and the whore, that was the obsession in the stories. That's why Joe Losey wanted to make Eva with me. That's why I made the film with Tony Richardson, Mademoiselle, and it was a story written by Jean Genet. You see, but nowadays the world has changed. And the big preoccupation is not men and women. How can they live together? How can they love together? And forget about the sex. Because in The Lovers we made with Louis, this film that was considered so scandalous for the first time, because of the love scene, nothing was shown. But nowadays, as soon as people get naked and they kiss and you see the tongues and everything, you've seen it all. You see what I mean? So, I think it's really the mirror of the world. A feature film, it's an allegory. It can be a poetry. It's truer than the truth. And just to end our conversation, there is a lovely phrase of Jean Cocteau. Ce beau mensonge qui dit la vérité. That this beautiful lie who tells the truth. No, not who. This beautiful lie that tells the truth. That's creation, that is art.